Hello guys, in this video we are going to see about haloarenes and ara alkyl halides. You can call haloarenes as aryl halides also. When you have a benzene ring, we use the term arene. So if the halogen is directly attached to the benzene ring, we call them as haloarenes. If the halogen is attached to a alkyl group and then the alkyl group is attached to the benzene ring, then we call that as ara alkyl halides. Actually, we call them as side chain substituted halogen derivatives because one or more hydrogen atom of the alkyl side chain is replaced by halogen atom. Here directly a halogen atom is attached to the benzene ring. So that's what we are going to see about today. The compounds haloarenes and ara alkyl halides and their properties. Now let's see few examples of these haloarenes and ara alkyl halides. Look at this compound. You have a benzene ring and a chlorine is directly attached to this. We call this as chlorobenzene. If a bromine is attached to the benzene ring, we call this as bromobenzene. And this is iodobenzene because the iodine is attached to this. Here you have a CH3 and a Cl. Without this Cl, we call this compound as toluene. And in the second position you have chlorine, so 2-chlorotoluene is the name of this compound. This is also haloarene because the chlorine is directly attached to the aryl group, which means the benzene ring. And look at this example. You have a benzene ring and then you have a side chain. To that chlorine is attached, so we call this as benzyl. We have seen this when we talked about the different types of halides like vinylic, allylic, arylic, benzylic. So these come under arylic and these come under benzylic. So this is benzyl chloride. So actually without this chlorine you will be having CH3 here. Then we call that as toluene. In that toluene, look at this. This is toluene. In that toluene a hydrogen is replaced by a halogen atom. If two hydrogens are replaced by two halogen atoms, which means CHCl2, we call this as benzyl chloride. Look at this name. This is benzyl chloride. This is benzyl chloride. This can also be written like this. See, CH and two chlorines attached to the same carbon atom. We call this as benzyl chloride and this as benzyl chloride. When we studied about haloalkanes, we actually started with the nomenclature. We saw few examples. Then we moved to the methods of preparation of this haloalkane. Same way, now we are going to see the different methods of preparation of haloarenes. We can prepare these haloarenes by three different methods. First one is by electrophilic substitution reaction. We have seen in haloalkanes about nucleophilic substitution reaction, in which the attacking agent is a nucleophile which will be having a negative charge. So Nu minus is the representation. Here we are talking about electrophile. Electrophile carries a positive charge. So when you are substituting a hydrogen or anything, any other atom using an electrophile as the attacking agent, then that substitution reaction is called as electrophilic substitution reaction. So we are going to take toluene. Okay, C6H5CH3 is toluene and you're going to treat it with a halogen in the presence of iron, and the reaction should be happening in a dark experimental condition. So toluene plus X2 in the presence of iron and dark, you will be getting this orthohalotoluene and parahalotoluene. See, if this is the position, the next carbon atom to the substituent is called as the ortho meta para. Usually we take this as the substituent. If this is the CH3, this is ortho meta para. So this is also ortho meta and this is para. So now the CH3 is attached here. So this is the ortho meta para. So this is ortho halotoluene. This is para halotoluene. Halo is nothing but the X. If it is Cl, chlorotoluene. If it is Br, bromotoluene. So you are taking a toluene, treating it with a halogen in the presence of iron, dark, you are getting a mixture of orthohalotoluene and parahalotoluene, and this CH3 is unaffected. So directly you are introducing the halogen into the benzene ring by replacing a hydrogen atom. So here this X can be chlorine or bromine, which means you are not using this method to prepare iodo toluene, which means orthoiodotoluene or para-iodotoluene. The reason here, when we try to prepare iodobenzene using this method, this reaction is a reversible reaction. Now look here, when you're treating this with X2, one hydrogen is replaced by X. So one more X is there. That hydrogen and the other X will go out as HX. So if you are using Cl2 here, HCl will be the byproduct. If you are using Br here, HBr will be the byproduct. Same way, when you are trying to treat with iodine, you are taking benzene, you can directly take benzene and treat it with iodine. What will be the byproduct? Hi. So this reaction becomes a reversible reaction. What is mean by a reversible reaction? These two products will react again to give back the reactants. So to prevent this reversible reaction, what should be done? This Hi which is formed should be removed from the reaction. As long as that Hi is available, what will happen? It will react with this product and they give back the reactants. So to stop this reversible reaction, we are going to do something to prevent this Hi reacting with this iodobenzene. So what we are going to do, we are going to carry out this reaction in the presence of a catalyst, concentrated HNO3. See here, we don't use any catalyst like this. We use just iron and we are just carrying out this reaction. But here we are using an acid, concentrated HNO3. The reason why we use HNO3 here is, as soon as this Hi is formed, this HNO3 reacts with this Hi to give these products. So this Hi is no more available to react with this iodobenzene so that the reversible reaction can occur. So we are using a catalyst, con HNO3, to prepare iodobenzene from benzene and iodine. This is a type of question which is asked in board exam. Why questions? Why this electrophilic substitution method is not used for preparation of iodobenzene in the same way as we do for chloro and bromobenzene. So this is how you have to answer this question. So the next method of preparation of haloarine. So first method is from toluene or benzene by electrophilic substitution reaction. Now the second method is from diazonium salts. So first you should know what are diazonium salts and how to prepare them. To prepare a diazonium salt, we are going to take aniline. This is a benzene ring. A NH2 group is attached to the benzene ring. We call this as aniline. Suppose a OH is attached here, we call that as phenol. If NH2 is attached here, we call that as aniline. And you're treating it with NaNO2 and HX, sodium nitrite and hydrogen halide. HX can be HCl or HBr. What is the temperature here? 273 to 278 Kelvin. So you get this group N2 plus X minus. This N2 group is called as diazonium, azo group. So you have a benzene ring N2 plus and X minus. So we call this as benzene diazonium halide because this is X. If it is Cl, we call this as benzene diazonium chloride, or if it is bromine, we call that as benzene diazonium bromide. You will be learning about all this in the lesson amines in detail about all this nomenclature and the preparation methods. But as for now, you just understand you're taking aniline and treating with this reagent at this experimental condition to prepare benzene diazonium halide. This is a very important compound because it is very helpful in preparing a lot other organic compounds. It is used as the starting material. So now you are taking this benzene diazonium chloride and treating it with Cu2X2. This X can be chlorine or bromine. So you can take it as Cu2Cl2 or Cu2Br2. So now what you get, this is replaced by X. You get a aryl halide. Along with that, you are getting nitrogen. So now let's see this with an example. See, instead of X, we are taking Cl. So I can name this as benzene diazonium chloride. And I'm treating it with Cu2Cl2. See, remember, if I'm taking benzene diazonium chloride, here also you take Cl. If you're taking Br, you take Cu2Br2 here. So now you are getting chlorobenzene. See, so this N2 is coming out. You have a very detailed mechanism for all these reactions, but we will not be studying mechanism for your level standard, so you can just read this reactions alone. So what happens, you get chlorobenzene, along with that you're getting nitrogen. This is what we are preparing. We are preparing what? Haloarenes. So this method of preparation is from diazonium salts, and this reaction, what reaction? Preparing chlorobenzene or aryl halide from benzene diazonium chloride using this reagent Cu2x2 is called as Sandmeyer's reaction. So this is a name reaction. This reaction is called as Sandmeyer's reaction. If you want to prepare iodobenzene, see here I have written HCl and Br. If you want to prepare iodobenzene from diazonium chloride, it does not require any catalyst. You can directly treat it with potassium iodide to get iodobenzene. Now I'll show you that reaction. See, this is benzene diazonium chloride reacts with potassium iodide to give you iodobenzene. So you don't need any catalyst to prepare this iodobenzene from benzene diazonium chloride. So we are done with the preparation of haloarenes. When I started, I told you there are 3 methods of preparation of haloarenes. I included the preparation of aniline also. Benzene diazonium chloride also from aniline. So to prepare haloarenes, we have just 2 methods. First one is electrophilic substitution reaction. The second one is from benzene diazonium chloride or benzene diazonium salts. So now we are going to see the physical properties of haloarenes. Just like haloalkanes, we can discuss the order of boiling points and melting points for haloarenes. First one is boiling point. Look at the boiling points. These are disubstituted haloarenes. This is what position is this? Meta position. Okay, so this is meta dichlorobenzene. This is para dichlorobenzene. This is ortho dichlorobenzene. Their boiling points are almost similar. See, 446 Kelvin, 448 Kelvin and 453 Kelvin. But when it comes to melting points, they show variation. Now this is the order. Now meta, ortho and para. Para dichlorobenzene has the highest melting point. The reason is when you take para, it has a symmetrical structure. Look at this structure. It has a symmetrical structure. So it's because of this symmetry, in the solid state, they are very closely packed. When we talk about melting points, we are what we are actually doing, we are changing the physical state from solid to liquid. But these para dichlorobenzene is very closely packed in solid state. So it requires more temperature, more heat to convert this para into a liquid. So this is the order of melting points. Meta has got the least melting point compared to ortho, and then comes para with the highest melting point. Next we are going to see properties of haloarenes. When we studied about haloalkanes, what are the chemical properties we learned about haloalkanes? They undergo nucleophilic substitution reaction, they undergo elimination reaction, and then they react with metals, reactive metals. Same way, these haloarenes can also undergo nucleophilic substitution reaction, and they can react with metals, and instead of elimination reaction, they are going to undergo electrophilic substitution reactions. See the chemical properties of haloarenes. They undergo nucleophilic substitution reaction, which means what is the attacking agent? A nucleophile is the attacking agent, which carries a negative charge. And the second one is electrophilic substitution reaction, in which the attacking agent is an electrophile, which carries a positive charge. And the last one is the reaction of haloarenes with metals. So these are the 3 types of reactions which haloarenes will undergo, that we are going to see under the chemical properties of haloarene. So we will start with nucleophilic substitution reactions. When we studied the chemical properties of haloalkanes, we learned that they are very reactive towards a nucleophile. But haloarenes, they show low reactivity towards nucleophilic substitution reaction. So I'm going to explain why haloarenes are having a low reactivity towards nucleophilic attack. So the first reason is resonance effect. Second one is difference in hybridization of carbon atom in CX bond and instability of phenyl cation. And fourth one is electron rich nature of arenes. So to explain all this, first remember we are talking about haloarenes. What are haloarenes? They have a benzene ring. Whenever we write a benzene ring, usually you put a circle in the center. Now in all these examples I have put the bonds. Instead of these bonds, you can put what? A circle. What does that circle represent? It represents the delocalization of electrons. All you have to remember is this benzene is electron rich. Okay, this circle represents the electron cloud. So benzene is electron rich. So they have more electron density, which means they are having a negative charge. What about the nucleophile? Nucleophile is also carrying a negative charge. So when the nucleophile with a negative charge is trying to attack these arenes which are electron rich, will they be reactive? No, because both are negative. So that is one of the main reason. That is the fourth reason, electron rich nature of arenes. So because of that, these haloarenes show low reactivity towards nucleophilic attack. Now this reason, first reason, resonance effect. What is mean by resonance? You would have studied this in grade 11, the delocalization of electrons in the conjugated system. What is mean by a conjugated system? When you have alternate single and double bonds, we call that as conjugated system. So these lone pairs on chlorine will be delocalized. So see what will happen. This chlorine is involved in resonance. See, the electron pairs on the halogen atom are in conjugation with the pi electron pairs of the ring. So these are double bonds are pi electron pairs. So this electron pairs on this halogen is in conjugation with this pi electron. So let's see how this happens. Look at this structure. Okay, so now as I told you, the arrow is going here and this electron pairs are going to this carbon. So this carbon gets a negative charge, and since the electrons here are coming here, you're getting a double bond here, and this gets a positive charge. So from this picture, from the arrows that you have drawn, you can come up with this picture. Now look here, now you have electron here. You should not draw this bond here. Okay, instead of that only you put a electron, a negative charge here. So now this negative charge moves here and this electron pair moves to this carbon. So in the next picture, what you're supposed to do, here you have to put a bond, and instead of this bond you have to put a negative here. Everything else stays as such. Okay, now look here, you have a negative here and you got a bond here, and this positive and this double bond, they are all as such in the previous canonical form, the resonance structure. And the next here, this electron moves to this bond and this bond to the next carbon. Now based on these arrows, draw this diagram. So here you are getting a bond. Instead of this bond, you are putting a negative here, and you are getting the double bond and the positive. And the next picture, what you are supposed to do, you have to take this and put an arrow here, and this double bond will go back to the chlorine. You will get the same structure as this, but all the bonds will be replaced. Okay, so this is what we call as resonance structures. So when you do this resonance, look at this bond between the carbon and the chlorine. It gets a double bond. We call this as partial double bond character. Okay, so in the resonance structures, you are having a partial double bond character between the carbon and the halogen. So as a result, what will happen? This bond becomes stronger. You know, when you compare a single bond and a double bond, single bond is easier to break than the double bond. Now, the breaking of this will become difficult. Remember, what are we talking about? We are talking about the reasons for the low reactivity of these haloarenes towards a nucleophile. So, what should actually happen when a nucleophile comes? It should come here. Okay, replace this chlorine and come here. For example, if you're treating it with OH minus, the Cl should go out and OH minus should come here, and you should end up with a phenol. It should happen easily, but it is not happening. Why? Here it is not a single bond, it is actually a double bond. It is happening because of what? Because of the resonance effect. So a double bond is difficult to be broken. So this haloarene is showing low reactivity towards a nucleophile. So this is the first reason. Now the second reason. What is the second reason? Difference in hybridization of carbon atom in CX bond. what are the different hybridizations of carbon? It can show sp3, sp2 and sp. So what difference is there in the hybridization of carbon atom in haloarenes when compared to haloalkanes? So this is a haloarene, and this carbon, actually it has a double bond here. So this carbon is sp2 hybrid carbon. Look at this is a haloalkane. See, CH2, this is R. You can take this as CH3, CH2X, which means this can be ethyl halide. Now this carbon to which the halogen is attached is a sp3 carbon. So in the case of haloarene, because you have sp2 hybridization, there will be greater S character. Okay, there will be greater S character, and sp2 carbon is more electronegative when compared to the sp3 carbon of haloalkane. Okay, so when this carbon is more electronegative, it means what that carbon is doing, it is also trying to pull the electron pair. Okay, in this case, this X is more electronegative than this carbon, so it is pulling the electron. But here, this X is electronegative, but this carbon compared to this carbon is more electronegative. So what is actually happening? The bond cleavage here becomes more difficult. So when the bond cleavage becomes difficult, obviously it is showing less reactivity towards a nucleophile. So these are the reasons why haloarenes show low reactivity towards a nucleophile. And when we started talking about the reasons, I listed 4 reasons. One reason is instability of the phenyl cation. See, when we talked about SN1 mechanism, the mechanism proceeds through the formation of a carbocation. So if this is undergoing reaction through SN1 mechanism, this X should go out and you should get a phenyl carbocation where you get a plus charge. So that phenyl carbocation is very unstable. We have already learned when we are talking about a reaction, if it includes a formation of an intermediate, the more stable intermediate will be preferred, and that will be followed as the product. But here the phenyl carbocation will be very unstable because it's not stabilized by resonance also. So these are the main reasons why haloarenes are showing low reactivity towards a nucleophile. So nucleophilic substitution reactions involving the cleavage of the CX bond in haloarenes proceed with difficulty. Which means we are not saying that these reactions are not going to happen, but it's going to be proceeded with difficulty, which means you have to give a catalyst, and the reaction conditions should be very intense so that the reaction could take place. So in the next video we will see how these haloarenes will proceed nucleophilic substitution reactions with difficulty.